Quick, before I lose your attention, the whole thing's just to cover up a gay love affair. Okay, whew. I'm glad I got that off my chest. Yeah. How's that for a conspiracy? Think about it, though. Because, okay. So I just wanted to say that this story developed fast, and there's so many different news articles about it. And like, as I was making the video, more was developing on it. So if I say something that's just like, oh, that's old news, I'll probably point that out later in the video that I learned that that's old news. So just, bear with me. So they say Paul Pelosi was attacked by a guy with a hammer in his underwear. And so you're like, okay, that sentence is not totally clear, because was Paul Pelosi in his underwear, or was the guy in his underwear? Because, okay, if he breaks into his house at 2 in the morning, I assume that Paul Pelosi's in his underwear. And apparently, the guy was in his underwear. Okay, so hold on. Wait a minute. Scratch this. Go back. So they're both in their underwear? So that's a little weird. Okay, so let's say he's going to go break her kneecaps. And he breaks into her house, does all this shit, finds out she's not there. If you're going to go there and kidnap her, and you go there and you find out she's not there, oh, I don't have to get arrested or commit a felony today, or I can just leave. You go there to kill her, and she's not there. Oh, I can just leave. Oh, I'm going to go there to send her a message. So kill her husband in his sleep then. If you walk up on him, and But, okay, so why didn't he leave? It's so weird that it's funny that he goes into to break her kneecaps or to kill her or anything, but the guy's in his underwear? So many questions, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, so he was just in his underwear then. Okay, but then they said that he had a handful of zip ties and a hammer. Okay, well, he just has a handful of zip ties and a hammer? Okay. He didn't have a bag? Oh, okay, no, another news place says that he did have a bag. And inside the bag was zip ties, duct tape, and rope. Oh, okay. Was that all that was in the bag? Because I hate to, nitpick or do anything weird, but, is that was all that was in the bag? Because that's kind of strange. The guy's, not from town, and he's, going on a whole mission. Did he bring any gum? Did he bring a bottle of water? Did the guy have a cell phone on him? And if he did have those things in the backpack, why would you count those out? You should list everything that's in the backpack. Oh, but we just listed the things that made it seem like he's going to kidnap him. Oh, okay, well, the water and the gum, we don't know what those would be used for. So maybe you should just list everything. Was that all that was in the bag? Was there even really a bag? You know what I mean? Because did he just, one person says he just has a handful of zip ties, a handful of hammer. Okay, so his hands are full then. So who's he gonna tie up with what or whatever the fuck? So he goes alone. He doesn't bring a gun. That's another thing. He's going there on a suicide mission, or he's going there to get them to tie them up or whatever. But he knows that there's gonna be 2 versus 1, and he's just naked with a hammer. So he doesn't have a gun. So he doesn't have anything. Okay, so it's like. And I'm not even started yet. But so yeah, does it just make sense that maybe he was just at his house? Because all the cops know is that the cops rolled up and they found 2 men fighting in their underwear. Oh, but nobody says it like that. Yeah. So I'm sorry that I'm going to spiral on this whole thing, and that sure, I'm a conspiracy theorist or whatever the fuck. But it is interesting, because when you think about the story, all these news articles are trying to redact this and just try to do all this, and they're trying to fumble up this whole thing, and they're covering up all their shit. They're doing all this fucking shit, because maybe they're going to find out eventually what I already found out, or what's blatantly obvious. Because what? Yeah, okay, so the guy was just in his house at 2 in the morning. And he was just, he's a nudist. That's why he was in his underwear. He was just in his underwear. They just found 2 men fighting in their underwear at 2 in the morning. When there was no security at the house. It just so happens that Nancy was out of town. Nobody was at the house. All the security was gone because Nancy said, I got the house to myself. Paul had the house to himself for one night, and then the cops will roll up and there's 2 men fighting in their underwear. So yeah, you know what I mean? It's like bro didn't even have fucking pockets. You know what I mean? It's like okay, let's say that you are a fucking nudist or whatever. You know what I mean? And you're go on a mission to commit this felony and go send this message and you're gonna break into the senator's house. So guess what? Yeah, today you're wearing clothes. Yeah, just cause some pockets would be nice at least. But he's just a nudist, so that it makes sense that he was there in his underwear. Or is there maybe another reason he was there in his underwear? I'm not trying to say that. I mean, I obviously don't know what happened. Okay, everything that I say is speculation or hearsay or blah 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 beep. And yeah, I obviously don't know shit. But it's just you'd think they'd be able to get their story straight or something, but I don't know. Yeah, dude didn't even have pockets. He was super unprepared, right? It's it's like not even known whether he had a backpack for sure or not. So, and it's like, did you guys take any crime scene pictures? And then these people are like, oh, we watched the, yeah. These people are like, oh, we saw the footage, and these people were right. It's like, oh, that's funny that you don't just show us that footage when you say that. So, it's funny that nobody is showing us the footage that they said they've seen to prove their side. That footage just doesn't, it's not allowed to be shown to anybody. It's like, okay, if he was dropped off at 2 a.m. to kidnap him, where's the vehicle? Where was he going to take them? Oh, he's just going to break their kneecaps or whatever? Okay, where's his getaway vehicle? Oh, it's a suicide mission? Then why isn't he dead? How was he planning on committing suicide? Okay, scratch that, because no, it wasn't. That's just a thing they say. Okay, you know what I mean? That's just a thing they say so that when you ask, oh, where's his getaway vehicle? Oh, he was just planning not to get out of there. Or he was just planning on getting arrested. Okay, yeah, I'm sure he was just planning on getting arrested or just planning on dying. No, okay, so yeah, where's his getaway vehicle? Did he drive himself there? Did he get dropped off there? Was he staying with somebody that was close? Because yeah, I actually have like a million questions. Hold on. I actually wrote them all down. Yeah, just real quick. I mean, I hate to bother you, but no, we just just to set the record straight on a few things, just because or you're upset that people are spiraling these conspiracy theories. So we'll just set the record straight on some things. I hate to interrogate you or make this seem like a grueling thing or whatever, but yeah, do you know if he was dropped off there? Do you know what time he got there? Was there anybody waiting outside for him to be picked up? Did the security cameras catch anybody driving up and dropping him off? Did the security cameras catch him walking up from somewhere? Did the security cameras capture where he came from? Was he close enough to, was he staying at somebody's house close by? And that's how he was able to get there at 2 a.m? Because they're making it seem like he walked there. So, okay, and then you're saying that he was in his underwear. Did he have shoes on? Did he have shoes? Did he have a backpack? Did he have a bag in his hand, or did he have a backpack? Did he have a fanny pack? Did he have a bag? Did the zip ties look like this or like this? Because that sort of matters. Were the zip ties in his hand or in the bag? Was the bag a thing? Were the zip ties sexual? I mean, why did he break the back window? Do we know that the zip ties weren't sexual? Some people say that he came in through the back window. Some people say that he came in through the back door. It looks like he broke the window, and the hole is pretty big. It almost looks like he crawled through it. Do you have footage of how he made entry? Did he break the window and unlock the door? Because it looks like the door next to it is open. So he would have had to crawl through it and unlocked it. But then why did he unlock the door? Why is that door open if he crawled through the thingy? And was the door unlocked? Did they check to see if that door was unlocked? Or was there footage of what happened? But yeah, so was the front door locked? Do we have footage of him checking the front door? Why did he go to the back door when the side door was pretty much the same and easier to get to? Do people realize that the back door was actually hard to get to because it's all fenced off and it's down on these things? How did he get in the backyard? The back door, do people know that the backyard is actually pretty closed off and secure? The whole house is actually pretty secured. Why did he break the back? He could have broken any window. Was he, and there's a ladder in the backyard. Did he bring that with him? Why is there a ladder in the backyard? Did he, maybe he could have just checked a balcony, And did he check a balcony? Did he use that ladder? Why is that ladder there? Was Paul bleeding? Was he unconscious? This one news article says he was, this one says a very different story. Why would people, so what is the story? What happened? Did the cops open the door? Did he open the door? Can we get a clear answer on that? And it's funny, these actually aren't even, these aren't even, these are all just in my head because it's all just super obvious because the whole thing's that dumb. But it's, it's very, this whole show's unscripted. So yeah, was there anybody else involved? Did the guy have a cell phone on him? If he was in his underwear, yeah, he obviously didn't have a cell phone. It says that he was an immigrant. They're like, oh, let's use this story to, talk about immigration. And then all of a sudden, oh, he's actually not even an immigrant. And then they say, oh, and then, so which one is it? Is he from here or not? Because they say that he has a history of going to these rallies in the United States. He has a history of doing all these things in the United States. So how or why was he here illegally? And then how was he so close to his house at that time if he didn't have a vehicle? Did he have a vehicle? If he's just visiting the United States, has he rented a vehicle? Has he rented a hotel? Is he staying with somebody? Is he staying with somebody close to the house? Are you sure there wasn't anybody involved or waiting outside for him? Did he plan on getting arrested? Why didn't he have a gun? Did he plan on getting killed? Why didn't he leave if she wasn't there? Do we have footage of him walking up? Was he just walking down the street with a backpack and a hammer naked and nobody stopped him? So how far did he walk with a hammer naked? And so, yeah, what did he look like when he entered the house? Did he have the zip ties in his hand? Maybe he had them in the backpack, but then he took them out and he had them ready. You know what I mean? How was he planning to tie them up? How was he planning to do, what was, why did he wake Paul up? Like, hey, Paul. Hey, arrest me. Hey, Paul. Hey, I broke in here. You have to wake up. Hey, I broke into your house and Nancy's not here. Arrest me. I'm super mad now. You have to call the cops. Get up. You have to go. Tell them to arrest me. Because I broke in here and she's not here. So let's just I don't know. Yeah, call them. It's like, and another thing is, okay, so was the hammer found on the property? Did he bring the hammer with him? Because, there's just a ladder laying in the backyard. So that kind of makes me think that maybe there's some construction or whatever. So, because if he didn't bring the ladder with him, maybe there's other tools laying around there because the house is obviously under construction or something. So maybe he found the hammer in the backyard. And it's funny because why, after he gets arrested, why would he spill the beans? It's funny because it says that he's getting arrested for conspiracy to kidnap. Okay, well, that wasn't known until he just spilled the beans on himself. So he could have gotten arrested for just the assault. But then it's like, oh, why were you there? And then he just spills the beans about all this stuff. He gets all these charges because he tells them his plan. Oh, I was going to kidnap her and break her knees, and I was going to fucking... So why did he say that? Why did he get a bunch of charges just to say the stuff, just to send this message? Why would he get all this time for himself just to send this political message? You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's... And another thing, why was he so... serious about changing politics when he's not from here? If he's Canadian, if he's not from here, why would he be trying to send this message to the Democrats? Why would he be trying to affect our policies if he doesn't live in the United States? You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. You sure he just wasn't there? I have a theory that it's just like, okay, Paul had this guy over at his house because Nancy's out of town. And this guy had somebody drive him there, But while they're, doing the whatever, this guy's just sitting in the corner watching because, he just likes to watch or whatever. But he's the ride. But, he's a freak also. He doesn't want to just sit in the car. So, but then, Paul and the guy, they end up getting in a fight because, the whole gay love affair thing, they just start, they start getting in an argument. And he's like, well, you might want to listen to me or I'll fucking spill the beans about this whole thing. And then Paul's like, you don't want to go there with me. And they get in a whole fight, right? And Paul fucking calls the cops on him. And he's like, yeah, get this man out of my house. And then he's just like, is this man in your house? And he's like, oh yeah, we don't know each other, but yeah, just get him out, okay? He's not a threat or anything, but just get him out, okay? And it's a normal thing, but just like he's like, oh fuck yeah, I forgot that you're not supposed to be here. God, I don't know. Yeah, just don't kill him or anything. I don't know. And then the guy picks up a hammer that he just finds in the house, and then he's just like, God damn it, Paul! And they start fumbling around with it, and then let's say that Paul has these, those, at the grocery store when you hit the button and the doors slowly open. So let's just say that Paul and Nancy have this installed on their front door because they're old and because they're rich and political. Rich political people like to have doors slowly open as they walk towards them, okay? So let's just say that for whatever reason they have one of those on their doors, okay? So as the two are fighting for the hammer, they're like, hey, he's like, get out of my house. The cops are coming. He's like, no, you fucking idiot. I want them to show up and they'll know about us finally. And then so as they're fighting, and then this guy, the guy that was watching in the corner, the ride, he's fucking going for the front door, fuck you guys, I'm leaving. And he hits that little electric door opener thing. And as the doors slowly open, he realizes that the cops are there. So he's like, fuck. And he turns around and he starts running. And he's trying to open these back doors, and he's like, why are they all fucking locked? Goddamn presidential security or whatever the fuck. Why are all the doors locked from the inside? And so he just kicks the window out and he escapes out the back. And when the doors are open finally magically or whatever because of the door thing, they're just standing there fighting over the hammer. And then they just have the scene of them standing there on their underwear with a hammer. There's a back door broken. But yeah, and so that's the how that could happen. You know what I mean? But it's just funny to think about that because it's why wouldn't he have a getaway vehicle? Why would he be in his underwear? Why are all this and all this and all this? It's funny because my theory answers all those questions. Even if it's in the most ridiculous, stupid way possible. I mean, life is ridiculous and stupid. It's oh, that's such a very dumb, specific situation. And it's hey, life literally is just a bunch of dumb, weird, specific situations. That's literally all it is. It's literally all it is a bunch of dumb, weird, specific situations. Always. Everything. So isn't that funny? It's never just something normal. It's always something like this. You know what I mean? And so I thought that theory was funny. It answers all those questions. It answers all the questions, even when they're posed in different ways. Oh, well, if this question is a thing, then this didn't happen, so this question wouldn't be asked. But it's I'm just answering all of them in just a ridiculous way with the one story. And it's maybe it's the truth. Who knows, But it's just I don't know. It's just, I don't know. That's how they answer. That's how you get the phone call, and how he says he wasn't a threat, and how, you know. But it's just like, yeah, there's so many questions if it was like a break-in thing. Like, yeah, like why didn't he just leave? You know, because yeah, let's say you're going there to do a mission. If you go there and she's not there, can you just leave and not get arrested? I know that's hard for the news or whatever to wrap their mind around, but I don't know. But yeah, so many questions, you know. And I'm pretty sure I didn't even ask all of them. That's what's funny about it, is I'm sure there's still 100 more that I have written down in my mind somewhere that I can't find. So I love how normally it's like witnesses say that the man was, you know, but no, this time it was sources who were familiar with the event say.
Sources familiar with what unfolded in the Pelosi residence now revealing.
A source familiar with the incident tells the Associated Press DePop had a bag of zip ties during the break-in.
And it's like, okay, so the only sources familiar with the event would be Paul and the guy, right? Period. You know, sure, yeah, the cops or whoever to come afterwards and investigate it, they're familiar with the situation, but they're not familiar with the situation. You know what I mean? Of what happened. You know, nobody is, except for the two people, you know. It's like all speculation, you know, unless there's cameras inside of every square inch, which, you know, there might be, but it's like, okay, show us proof or whatever if you're going to say anything about that or whatever. But it's like, okay, so anyways, it's just, I want to show some of the stuff, and we'll go through this whole journey together. So when I first saw this Paul Pelosi story, it's like, Paul Pelosi was attacked in his mansion. The first thing I thought for some reason is just, yeah, well, that didn't happen. I don't know why that was just my knee-jerk response to the whole situation. I didn't even think about it. Like, I just saw the headlines, oh, Paul Pelosi was attacked. And I was just, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Okay. And I can say that just not knowing anything at all. You know, I don't know politics. I know nothing about this guy. And then a few days later, all these news articles are like confirming what I thought right off the bat. Like, all these are like, oh, the story doesn't add up and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, it's really weird that, like, you know, I totally called bullshit instantly. And like, now everybody's kind of like, but it's funny because nobody's actually caught on to what's happening, though. It seems like it's obviously such bullshit, and everybody's like, oh, it doesn't line up, but nobody's figured it out yet. And it's like the most obvious, ridiculous thing in the world, and everybody's like, oh, what's going on? And it's just like, you're all fucking stupid. That's what's going on. You guys are just, you're too close to the picture to see what's going on, or you're just stupid or something. I don't know. But that's what's going on. And I'll show that to you real quick. And it's funny because I'm not Sherlock Holmes. I'm not a detective. I don't even really care about the situation. And I blew apart their house of lies instantly. I just totally eviscerated just their whole whatever they tried to plan without even trying. Instantly. And so these are the people that run our government. So that's good. But yeah, also is that they're saying, oh, anybody that says this didn't happen is just a conspiracy theorist.
Conspiracy theories spread not only on far corners of the internet, but in seemingly mainstream space.
But it's interesting because normally when a conspiracy spirals about something, it's because the people spiral it about it. And normally there's time. You know, all conspiracies have some time to think about it, okay? It's not the next day, like, oh, the news reports and the police and this all said conflicting things, and people noticed that, so, oh, it's a conspiracy. I mean, there is an obvious weird misunderstanding, but anybody that points that out is a conspiracy theorist. Normally, the news doesn't say, hey, this is a conspiracy theory. They don't give it to you like, here you go, guys, here's your new conspiracy to play with. Because that's literally what they're doing. Anytime it's conspiracy theory spirals, it's because years of people putting together pieces and saying this doesn't fit, this doesn't fit. And so yeah, because you fucked up the news and because people called you out so quickly is kind of weird. And it's like, no, you can't just be like, oh, it's a conspiracy and just blame it on all these people are all dumb and weird. Oh, because if you don't acknowledge the facts, you're just dumb and weird. Well, okay, no, because I'll show you that any normal person gets fed several different facts from different things, and so, oh, that's kind of weird and sorry if we spiral onto some shit. But yeah, so it's a gay love affair, pretty much, is what's happening. Or I don't fucking know. Probably not, but the first thing I see on it is it says, Paul Pelosi expected to recover after being violently assaulted at San Francisco home. And so first of all, I think that's funny because this isn't the only news article that puts that in quotations. This is the other one. It says he's expected to recover after being violently assaulted And it's like, why did you put it in quotations like that? You know what that article makes me think that that's about? It makes it sound like, Paul Pelosi was having a disagreement with some paper boy. And he's like, hey, you can't leave that there. And the paper boy's like, what do you mean? And they get in an argument. And the paper boy just fucking backhands him with a newspaper and then just rides off. And he's just like, oh my God, I was violently assaulted. And then he fucking tells the police that, and the police are like, okay, well, he says that he was violently assaulted. So, and it's so ambiguous, or it's just so like unspecific, and it's just so like, oh, he's expected to recover after being assaulted at his house. That's a very weird way to say that he was almost murdered. And I just put that in quotations because it's like, what is the story that they're even trying to perpetuate or whatever, you know what I mean? Because there's like a lie or whatever that they're trying to pump or whatever, it seems like, but they don't even know what that is. Because they keep saying that it's an attack, not an attempted murder or an attempted kidnapping. Just an attack. And yeah, at first it was so random, like, oh, he was attacked in the night. And you're like, okay, with what? Like, they gave you no details. They didn't say anything. They didn't say if it was bad. Like, wouldn't that be an attempted murder, right? Oh, no, he just came in and he just wanted to whack him with a hammer. You sure he wasn't, like, trying to murder him? Oh, no, it was just an attack. But okay, so let's think about this, though. I had to Google how old this motherfucker was, because I was like, okay, if you attack somebody with a hammer, they're pretty much dead instantly, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how weak this guy has to be, or how weak you would have to be. Like I'm pretty sure, as a human, you can't even be weak enough to not kill somebody if you attack them with a hammer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if somebody's breaking into somebody's house to attack them with a hammer, like, was it an inflatable blow-up hammer? Like, you know what I mean? Because he's 82 years old. You could hit him with an inflatable, like, air, fucking one of those hammers that you get from the fair. You could hit him with that and he'd probably die. Like seriously though. Because, when people get, like, into their 80s or whatever, so he could have, like, attacked him with a blow-up inflatable hammer. And think about this. This guy's probably upset. Like, he's not just going to come in there and be like, bonk. Like, he's not just going to come in there and just hit him in the nose and then just like, take this. Wham. You know what I mean? And even if he did that, Paul Pelosi might just die because he's 82. He doesn't look like he lifts that many weights or whatever. I mean, who knows? You know what I mean? But you know what that brings me to? Okay, so to help me prove my point, here's this. Just some context.
Scratch on their car. And so they're mad at this attendant who's a 66-year-old man, according to the news. So mom's going to stop him up and get mad at him, say something to him, which is going to make him frustrated a little bit. So he's going to answer with a little bit of heat in his body language. And that makes his 17-year-old son drill this guy in the side of the face. And that sucker punch stunned him, and he hit his head on the ground on the way down. And if you go read the news story that I've linked in the description, he is listed in serious condition in the hospital after this. Again, the person who threw the punch and attacked him, 17-year-old minor.
It's okay. I don't know how much you guys know about the human body or violence or, whatever. That's why I think that their story's bullshit. When people get older, they get a lot more frail. This guy, 66 years old, he gets punched in the face by a frail little teenager, hits his head on the ground, and he's in serious condition, you know what I mean? Like, he could die from that. But so it's interesting because grounds are hard. So I'm sort of convinced that him just hitting the ground, the one hit could put this guy in critical condition. So he's 66 years old. He gets hit once, critical condition. Paul Pelosi is 82. And this guy came into his house with a murderous rage and attacked him with a hammer. Okay. If you get hit with a hammer, you're going to be in critical fucking condition. You know what I mean? This guy's coming into his house to fucking murder him. Okay. That's probably, if the story's real, somebody did come in and attack him with a hammer. Okay. Then he was trying to murder him. Period. And if he failed, that's very interesting. You know what I mean? A lot of questions there. Because, that was the thing. It's like, oh, yeah, he was attacked. It's like, what was he attacked with? Oh, I don't know, but he was violently attacked. Like, next was like, oh, he was attacked and he's alone. Oh, he was attacked with a hammer. Oh, but he was attacked with a hammer, but he's going to be fine. He was violently attacked with a hammer, and he's 82. But he's going to be fine. He'll actually, you actually won't even notice. He's going to have, he had a skull fracture. It's just this hairline little thing. He won't have any bruises on his face or any swelling or anything. Or, because, proof or whatever. The fact, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I got some stitches or some little crack in my skull somewhere. And I'm going to be perfectly fine. No brain damage or nothing. Not skipping a beat here at 82. Mauled with a hammer, just this little skull fracture that you can't see, because, you know what I mean? Because if the guy's coming in to kill him in the night with a hammer. He's going to do it. He's not going to try to. Okay, he's going to do it. Yeah. Especially if this guy's 82. He's not going to overpower him. Because did he have a shotgun? Apparently not. That's the only way his 82 ass would stop him. Oh, he could blow him away and kill him. He is in his house attacking him with a hammer. But he didn't do that. Oh, he just overpowered and stopped him. Because he's so 82. You know what I mean? And so this guy coming in with a murderous rage in the nighttime, going to kill this guy, is like, oh, I'm so pissed off at this guy that I'm going to go track him down and kill him. But no, he's just pussyfoots around, or his plan fails so miserably, or it backfires. Or he doesn't wait till he's sleeping, or he doesn't wait till he's turned around, or he doesn't, you know how I know that? Oh, because if he was turned around or whatever and he got a clean shot, guess what? If you're not dead instantly, you're knocked out. And then he's going to proceed to murder you. Okay, it's not going to be a fumbling little goofy little fucking battle for this blow up fucking fair hammer. It's, you know what I mean? He's going to come in there and he's going to attack him when he's sleeping. He's not just going to like walk up to him like while he's eating and be like, ah, and then just run straight at him going like this to where he's like, no. And then he just runs into his arms and hits him, and then they start slapping each other. And then he's like, and he hits his finger backwards and he's like, oh, and then he bonks him on the forehead, and then he fucking pushes him off. And then he fucking, he does what? I don't know, because the cops just showed up. So, okay, so who called the cops, or like what happened there in between or whatever. But so it's like, okay, so yeah, the cops come in and they're both just holding the hammer. And that's another thing. So the door just opens and it's just holding up a hammer. It's like, it's okay. So who opened the door? And that's not just me thinking that. That's like an actual thing. Everybody's like, who opened the door? There's obviously another person there. And so what does that mean? So yeah, hold on.
When police arrived and knocked on the front door, Scott said someone inside opened the door. The officers saw Paul Pelosi and DePepe, each with one hand on a single hammer. He said Scott confirmed that DePepe had forced entry into a rear door of the Pelosi home. And this Scott we're referring to is the San Francisco police chief.
Right.
So the suspect accessed the rear door of the house, and there's no security. Where are the cameras? Also, what about the broken glass? What was that about? And when police came to the door, someone else opened the door. Who opened the door?
If we did a wide shot on the house, there are high-resolution cameras on every corner of that house. That's easy to see. The glass appears to be broken outward. That's another question that needs to be answered. Police officers typically have their body cameras on, especially when entering a house like this. Where's the body cam video? Where's the security video? What type of security system? Who opened the door is someone that investigators need to talk to. These are things that demand transparency in the reporting because, again, an assault on potentially on a member of Congress's property, on her husband, and all of this, it doesn't add up.
Yeah, I think the point here is that there are so many questions,
Show me the video.
Right.
Show me the audio.
Despite all these questions, the White House is really rushing to try to connect all of this to January 6th.
And that's another coincidence. It's weird that something like this would happen, and it's not just a thing that happens. You know what I mean? Oh, it's not just an attack. Oh, it's not just somebody wanting to assault him and kill him because of anything that would make any sense. Oh, it's not like he wants to murder him because he affected his life in some way, or he did this or that. You know, it just so happens that, oh, there's all this politically motivated stuff behind it. And okay, yeah, but that makes sense, though, because he's a political figure, so somebody trying to murder him would be politically motivated. Yeah, okay, yeah, so I get that part. But it's also just like, you know what I mean? It's like, but it's also just like, oh, it just so happens to just lead back to this whole conspiracy. And it's like, oh, this guy just so, like, believes in all these crazy weird things, and then he has this whole weird, mysterious past, and it's just like, he can't just be, you know, some guy. It can't just be an attack. It can't just be like, oh, he got attacked. That sucks. Maybe he should have had security. Or you know, oh, that's sketch that people are attacking political figures. Or oh, it's sketch that, you know, people can track down political figures and attack them in their house. It's like, how did he figure out where he lived? Like, are you sure they didn't know each other? He says he didn't know each other, but it's like, okay, so it's like, how do you know that you don't know him? That's another thing. Don't you probably meet a lot of people and oh, you probably affected a lot of people and you've probably, yeah, you have a far reach with your political whatever the fucks and stuff. So how do you know you don't know him? And it's like, you know what I mean? Okay, so whether you know him like directly or whether you're like just, it's like, okay, so, but the point is, I don't know, they just make the story up. This is like, oh, they don't know each other. There was only two people in the house. That's another thing. This thing comes up, they're like, so tell us about the thing. There was only two people. That's what.
Francisco District Attorney Brooke Jenkins.
There were only 2 people in the home at the time that the police arrived, Mr. Pelosi and the suspect. There was no third person present.
You're like, we didn't ask about that, but okay. It's like, so what happened to Mr. Pelosi? There was only 2 people, I swear. Okay, that's all we know is that there was only 2. The door magically opened. What door? This is just the door. I don't know. The door that the police were asking about, but it was totally irrelevant. That door opened by itself. It's a weird thing that happened at once, and it's totally irrelevant. There was only 2 people. I know you didn't ask, but it was only 2 people. The attacker and him, because that's what makes sense. Okay? There wasn't a cameraman. There wasn't anybody calling the police or whatever would have to, 2 people. Okay? Because that was the situation. It was an attack in the nighttime, and it was a very unplanned thing from all angles. Okay? The whole thing's so fucking stupid, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, yeah, like he said, show us the cop badge cam. Show us their security cameras. Let's see Pelosi's face right now. Let's see him in the hospital. Hey, how come we haven't heard from Nancy since this whole fucking thing happened? How come we haven't heard from him since he's just so great? Oh, he's gonna make a recovery. He doesn't mean he's doing great. They make it sound like he's doing just fine, though. So it's like, and nobody said shit about it. Like, what does she have to say about it? Why hasn't she commented? And it's just like, you know what I mean, though? It's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure he hired him to do this because, the elections are coming up. So it's it just so happens, this happens, and then the election's coming up. I bet you anything he paid this guy. Like, they have some weird, deep political, fucking weird, stupid plan. He's just like, yeah, I'll pay you and you can, like, attack me and you'll get arrested. But I'll just pay your bail and I'll get you out. And then that will move this whole thing forward. Like, I mean, I don't know the plan or whatever, but, it's probably something fucking stupid like that. You know what I mean? But it's just like, it's just, that seems way more obvious than just like, this random crackhead just was able to just figure out where he lived and he, and then he went in there with this whole plan to murder and or kidnap him. And he was able to figure out where they lived and he was able to get inside, but she wasn't there. And he didn't know that she wouldn't be there. And he didn't, so, it's like, this whole "where's Nancy" thing. It's like, in A of all, why would you scream that? Why don't you just go looking for her? And why would you scream that? It's like, do you know she's not there as you're screaming that? Can you just go look for her? Like, did you know that she's out of town? Like, how did you not know she's out? It's like, there's so many questions in the whole, you know what I mean? There's so many questions that I know it's bullshit. You know what I mean? and I'll tell you we don't know what the motive was. The motive was because he was paid to do it by somebody. Probably one of the Pelosi's, but yeah, paid by somebody, probably, you know what I mean? Obviously. Like, this whole thing is going to spiral. Let's just, here you go, here's money. Because nobody's just going to do it. They're making it seem like, this is just the world we live in, where this happens and people do this. Oh my God. But in reality, when you pay people to do that, to send that message, then the reality is that, no, that actually doesn't happen. When that does happen, it's because you made it happen. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck?
So many questions at this point. I think the only thing we do know is that this guy was obviously very troubled.
Yeah, he was so troubled. He was so deranged that he just knew where and when to find him to do this. So that was part of his mental debilitation, or it was just part. You know what I mean? It was part of his mental deficiency, was just being able to do this. So, and that's about all we do now.
Mentally unstable in some way, as we heard from his ex-wife.
In the bomb squad, now that makes sense. You know what I mean? The guy comes in there and attacks with a hammer. He doesn't even have a gun. He's like, let's get the bomb squad down here. Pelosi's sitting there with a fucking wrap around his head. He's like, the guy, he fucking tried to murder me. There's probably a bomb in there. He's like, what makes you think of that? Like, it's like, because he's doing all this because this guy's a conspiracy theorist. He's probably has anthrax in my house now. He's probably fucking, But it's just like, do you really need the bomb squad there? Because if some lunatic just came in there and attacked you with a hammer, it's like, okay, so I get that he's like, or QAnon, or maybe some weird gang. It's like, maybe he's gonna blow his house up or some shit. It's like, no. If anything, they just came in there and attacked you with a hammer. Why do you have the bomb squad? Is there something you're not telling us? Okay? Or are you just trying to make this thing seem so bad? You probably rigged my house. You probably set everything to blow. It's like, the whole thing is just like, okay, so why is the SWAT team and the bomb squad there if one guy attacked you with a hammer? You know what I mean? Like, he was gone like fucking hours ago. Why is the bomb squad like? So, like, I sort of get it, but it's like, really though? I don't really get it though. It's so ridiculous. It's like, because somebody was trying to kill a public official. But I don't think that's true though, because he'd be dead though. This guy is either the biggest failure ever, Or he's just, but I don't think that because he, was able to get there and do this. So it's like, oh, he's this criminal mastermind, but then he gets just to the finish line and just fucks up everything for himself because he's too stupid. It's like what? It's funny. Fox News, for once, made a valid point. No. But it's funny how they got a point. Because, don't you have like a fucking ring camera? At least? Senator? Or whatever? Fucking congressman? It's like, don't you have like a dog or fucking anything? Like fucking anything. Do you have anything? Because it's like, oh, if I wanted to murder congressmen, and I did know where they live, I would assume that that's not a very easy thing to do. I would come in there with like several people and like a whole operation. You don't go in there alone with a hammer. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, but this guy's a conspiracy theorist. He's stupid and he's crazy. He probably thought that he could just go in there by himself and just, he's such a dumbass that he thought that he could pull it off by himself. And then he got overpowered by an 82-year-old. It's like, no, okay, so you're trying to relate this to January 6th or whatever the fuck it was. Okay, so were those people loners? Or no, did they flock together and use their, some sort of strategy and power and their numbers? Yeah, so they're trying to relate this to January 6th. Okay, well, if he was trying to like kidnap and or murder these people, why did he go alone? And how did he just know that their security is shit? It's like, oh, I want to attack this congressman. Good thing I know where he lives, and I know that they just don't have security. I won't be caught on camera, or I won't anything. And you see, the people that are like, hey, they have cameras, but I don't care if I'm going to be caught on camera because I'm going to murder them, and that's going to be mission accomplished, and then they can do whatever from there. They can know it's me, and I'll just go to jail, or they can kill me, or whatever. I'm just going to go there and kill them, and then mission accomplished. So yeah, those people, they don't care if they're on the cameras or whatever. So it's just like, I don't know, there's so many things. And I lost myself because there's too many things, okay? And it's like, that's probably what they want. They're like, well, the whole thing's so dumb and confusing that who knows what happened. It's like, I'll tell you what happened. It was bullshit. It was like some inside job. And then he literally says the window's broken from the inside. He's like, and then that has to be investigated. It's like, that literally does not have to be investigated. That is a open and closed shut case just immediately. If that is true, then it's like, fucking Jesus Christ. This guy is way too old and senile to be trying to do a plan like this if he fucks up with that. So it's like, holy shit, you know what I mean? And these are the people that run our government, like I said before. So that's good. Because, like, yeah, you're really going to break the window from the other side? Ridiculous. Super pedestrian, just rookie move to the point where it's like, oh no, yeah, he's a congressman. He wouldn't have, if he was planning this as an inside job, and then he wouldn't fuck up like that. So that's a red herring that he didn't do it because, it's not like he would make such a rookie mistake. It's like, hey, good attempt at trying to cover yourself. Hey, but no, we know you're that dumb. So just shut up, okay? It's like, fuck. Yeah, it wasn't set up or an inside job or behind the scenes thing at all. Yeah, this wasn't some staged, weird political act event thing. But they're sure as fucking to use it as one to really push it and use it. Oh, great timing and oh, awesome. And, but no, we didn't plan this. It just so happened to work out so well. It just so happens. That's another reason that checks our box for this thing. Oh, that's awesome. Great timing. Nobody would have planned that, and sure, the whole thing makes no sense or whatever. But, life's weird, crimes are weird. People are crazy. Who needs motivation for anything? I don't know. People just go out and murder people or attack people. Or they just go in and they go into plans not to murder them. They just want to bonk them with a hammer and get themselves arrested. People do dumb shit like that, right? And it's like, well, no, normally people actually have reasons for doing things. Believe it or not, behind the scenes, there's always a reason, even if the reason is because they're stupid and they're crazy or something. But there's always a reason. But yeah, I don't know. It just sounds like one of those stupid things that you would plan. You're like, all right, we're going to frame this thing for insurance money or something. Like, yeah, we're going to frame this break-in. Like, okay, so they came in through the back door, right? Or the back window. They came in through the rear, okay? But then they broke a window. Because, yeah, there's got to be broken glass, right? There's always broken glass or a broken back window. And, yeah, they went in through the back. So it's like, were they trying to be stealthy? Because, they went to the back, but then they just broke a window. It's like, And then it's just like, and there's this big mystery about it. It's like, oh, all that we know is there's a hammer and there's a broken window and oh, there's no footage. It's just like a ghost. I mean, I don't know how popular or famous they are, but, yeah, the news people are like, yeah, one of the most protected families in, the world. So, yeah, they don't have any fucking cameras or anything, right? Yeah. But yeah, so it's like, yeah, so they break the window, they go in through the back, they get caught, they don't accomplish their mission they just get themselves arrested. So it's like, you gotta wonder what was the person trying to do, right? Were they trying to kill him? Because they failed when they shouldn't have. Were they trying to kidnap him? Well, they failed when they shouldn't have. Because, yeah, they should have gone in there with more people, you'd think. Because they're like, oh, he had a Black Lives Matter flag. Or we found his page and he's, like, doing all these conspiracies and he's tied to this or that. So it's like, okay, all that you're telling me is that no matter why he did this, he would have been able to easily contact a bunch of other people with the same beliefs that probably would have helped him or whatever. So okay, yeah. So he just wanted to fail. That's kind of almost what it seems like. It really seems to me that this was destined to fail. That, we have the man in custody and we have the face. And and it failed, so nothing bad had to happen. But we're going to learn this lesson of, this could have happened and we caught the guy. But in reality, he would have kidnapped him or killed him and vanished off in the sunset, and you never would have caught him. I hate to say that, and it's like, and maybe you would have eventually caught him or whatever. I'm not trying to say that you wouldn't, or that one way or another. I'm just trying to say that okay, if he's going there to kidnap him, why is he so dumb about it? How did he find out where he lived? And that's another thing. Was he going after him or her? Was he just like, he's here, so I'm gonna hit him with a hammer? Like, I failed my mission because she's not here, so should he just have left? But I just want to hit him with a hammer. Or did you go there for him? I mean, the whole thing is like, because if he just went there and she wasn't there, he could have just left. It's like, she's not here, I can't do my mission, so I'm going to leave without getting arrested for another giant felony that's unrelated to my mission. So, or was he going there for both of them? But yeah, either way, he'll abort the mission if she's not there. Unless he's going there for him. But probably not, though. He's probably not important enough, or whatever the fuck. But it's just like, okay, so yeah, how did he get there? And then he got in the house, and he wasn't worried about being caught on camera or anything? I mean, or was he? Because, yeah, if he's going there to kill him, sometimes they don't even care. Because, yeah, it's not like a killer is going to, like, go in through the back door and try to, like, I don't even fucking know. But all I'm trying to say is that real lunatics, real killers, or hitmen, or angry people, they kick the front fucking door in, and they fucking walk up to the guy, and they just make his face into a red puddle on the ground. And they fucking leave, and they don't care. Maybe they're on camera, maybe they're not, but if it's in the middle of the night, and they're going there with intent to do some shit, and this guy's 82 years old, and he doesn't have any security, and he apparently didn't have a gun or anything on him, you know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, the guy goes there, and he murders him, you know what I mean? I'm guessing that was the goal, because he went there alone, okay? But he had zip ties. This whole thing, why I think that they paid this guy? They found him on some fucking conspiracy website, and they hired him. And they're like, it'll be perfect, as long as you use a hammer and say you had zip ties, like, look at this picture. So, yeah, as long as you go in there with a hammer, and there's a hammer involved, and you assault him, and there's zip ties, and then you have a conspiracy page, and there's this picture, and then there's the whole January 6th thing, and so we can spiral this conspiracy, so it'll be such a large thing. But everybody will be so confused by the whole thing that you won't even actually have to go to jail. You just kind of vanish, and I'll give you your $1 million or whatever, and nobody will even really ever recognize your face or be too attached to you. You'll just vanish. The whole thing will be forgotten. The only thing that'll be out of it is the lesson that gets learned, or the whatever, or the bill that gets passed. But yeah, you'll be fine. But no, yeah, the only reason he would go there alone is like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go, yeah, and he goes there with a hammer. So yeah, okay, so the only thing is, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna murder them and I'm gonna leave. You know what I mean? Whether he wants to get caught or not. Like, maybe he was on cameras, maybe he wasn't. But the thing is that normally criminals, they kick the front door in and they just beat you to death with a hammer. To the point where it's like, we have his body, but we can't really see his face, because did they take it with them? Because, yeah, I don't know. So all we know is we found this guy in his house, and he's wearing his clothes, and he's about the same size and weight and everything, but yeah, his face and his head, if they didn't take it with him, he must have been really mad, because, even his teeth are dust or whatever. I don't know how many times he hit him with his hammer to make his head and face just be gone, but or maybe they did take it with him. But the point is we don't know for sure that this is the guy. I mean, we found him dead in his house, but he's a political figure. It could be like a fake death. It could be like a trying to end your own life, or a fake suicide, or it could be like a fake kidnap, or it could be anything. But he is dead in his clothes, same size and everything. But we gotta wait about a week for the DNA to find out if this is him, because yeah, like we said, face, head gone, no idea. Yeah, somebody must have been really mad. Because part of me thinks that they didn't take the head with them. Part of me thinks that his head is just gone. Which, that old commercial, like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Like, okay, well, how many hits to somebody's face with a hammer does it take to make their head just disappear? He must have been upset. But But no, so the point is there's violent, crazy people out in the world, and they're not just gonna like, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, Mr. Pelosi, explain to us what happened. Because I don't know when the cops got called in this whole situation, and you said you, like, battled him. And, okay, you had a fractured skull and wounds to your hand and arms. Okay, so that makes me think that your story is that, oh, I was blocking, and he was just coming at me, and I was going like this, and he was, you know what I mean? If you come in the middle of the night with a hammer, no. You get hit in the head. And you want to know why they were going to say skull fracture? Oh, because that's totally invisible, for all we know, right? Oh. It's just like, dude, an 82-year-old doesn't get a skull fractured and just, like, be okay or whatever, you know? So that's what I'm waiting to see now. I'm waiting to see if he's just, like, in a week, just, like, giving a speech like nothing ever happened. Because that's what's going to really make me seem like call bullshit. If he's just never the same after this, and it's, like, some sad thing to where he's just in a chair now and he's got to quit his job and it's this whole thing and he just dies slowly over the next few years or whatever, it's like, okay, so, yeah, I'm going to feel like a dick about this whole thing or whatever, and I'm going to be like, oh, God damn it, yeah, he totally got attacked with a hammer. Whether he paid the guy to or not, it went a little too far or whatever, but no, I'm willing to bet that this guy just comes up and he's gonna make a commercial about this, like, I was attacked with a hammer and I survived, and I think single-handedly that these laws should be in place because I fucking have gone through it, and he's like, you know what I mean, and he's totally just gonna be fine, and you know what I mean, and if he doesn't have a fucking, I don't know, if he doesn't have a fucking eye missing or something, I'm not gonna believe it. I don't know, you know what I mean, though. You just gotta wonder, like, okay, what was the plan? Because it's one thing when you plan out how you think something went versus like how it really goes, because it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, we came in the back door. It's like, why? Is that where there was no cameras or something? Or did he know that? Did he check the front door first? A lot of people have front door cameras. You could see if he checked the front door first. Like, why did he break the window? Why couldn't he just break the front window? Why did it matter which window? Was he trying to go in the back so that nobody saw him go in there? Like, did he try to sneak up on him? Like, did he wait till he was asleep? Did he have a plan at all? Like, what, how did he get himself caught? You know, you're going in the middle of the night just to attack this guy, or, you know, I kind of think that he was helping her or whatever, that she'd be there. So, yeah, you're going to kill these people or whatever, and then you just, like, I don't know, it's just so fucking stupid, you know what I mean? It's just funny because it seems like the whole thing was just planned from somebody that's just watched way too many movies and has never dealt with any actual trauma or any actual violence or any actual terrible situation. They just have seen it in movies a bunch of times. They're like, all right, we're gonna break a window and oh, they came in from the back and they have a bag full of stuff with them and there's gonna be a fight, but then I'm eventually gonna win and the cops are gonna show up and they're going to arrest him. And it's going to be a good, positive, winning story. You know, one of those ones that never happens or whatever. But and it's just like, yeah, okay, Mr. Pelosi, tell us what happened. Give us the play-by-play. Because didn't they say that the door just flung open and then you guys were just standing there with a hammer? It's like, okay, give us the play-by-play on this whole thing that happened, because it's like that's how we'll be able to really call bullshit. It's like, okay, tell us from the moment you realized he was in your house. When did you first see this guy? What happened? He's like, I was attacked with a hammer, and the cops came and saved me. Well, how did they get there in time? It's like, I don't know. I had to fight him off for a while, and they finally got there. Like, well, how? Who called him? I mean, like, and yeah, what about that door that flung open? I mean, like, yeah, give me the play-by-play. And remember, he's only watched a bunch of movies. He's never dealt with anything. So he's grown up, you know, seeing violence on movies where people are, like, surrounded by a bunch of fucking bikers. One guy runs at him, and there's like, who are you at? And that guy's just dead. Another guy comes at him, he's just like, dink! And that guy's just dead forever. Another one comes at him, and he just kicks him in the stomach, and oh, that guy's dead. The stereotypical, you know, battles, how fights, like, never happen. It's like, he's grown up watching fights like that. So they're like, hey, give us the play-by-play. What happened? And he's like, well, I was getting ready for bed. I just got done brushing my teeth when down a long, dark hallway, I see this window break. And there's just a man standing there with a backpack and a hammer in one hand. And the moonlight's shining down, and I can't see anything except for the silhouette of this man with a hammer. And so we just run straight at each other. And I was just like, come here! Like, not in my house! And then we clashed, and we turned into a ball that just rolled around on the floor for a while. And then we both shot up. We both had just scratches on our faces. And then I just went, wham, wham! He hits him in the fucking face twice, and he just gets on his knees, and he grabs him by the throat. And, like, it's like, help me, stop! And then he's just like, wham! And then he just, like, fucking hits him, and he's just like, stop! No! Stop it! And then he just, like, hits him again, and he's like, wham! And he's like, and it's just this, you know, like, and then then like he'll get up and he'll like swing and like he dodges and then he hits him, and then I just went like whoo, like and he dodged it and then he hit me in the face and I was like ugh, and then he just swung at me with a hammer and then I grabbed it and then I flung it up, and then I had the hammer and then I hit him and then like we went back and forth and then the camera changed and then he had the hammer and then like he hit me and I was like ugh, and then like I slid back and I was just like damn it, and then like I went at him and we grabbed each other's shoulders and we just like started rolling around on the floor, and then all of a sudden the hammer just flung up in the air and we both looked at it and it just hit the floor and slid, and then we both just looked at the hammer and then we looked at each other and then we both just started running for the hammer and then we both just grabbed it and we just started slapping each other, and then I kicked him across the room because I'm 82, I've had a lot of practice at this, and then he comes at me and he kicks me across the room, and then we came in and then he hit me and then he swung at me and then I grabbed the hammer and then I swung at him and he hit me and he grabbed the hammer, and then we were fighting over it and we both had two hands on the hammer, and then the door magically flung open, we don't even know how, and the cop was just standing there like what the fuck, and then we were just like just both holding the hammer, and that was exactly as I remember it happening. Yeah, there's cameras everywhere to prove that's exactly how it happened. So yeah, roll the footage. I don't know, the whole thing's just so fucking stupid. It's like the guy wanted to be caught. It's like, oh well, now we have a face for the whole thing, and like, oh, we have this, now we have a person with a background that we can manipulate and plan and put all this, and then we can put all these words and all these stories, and we can build all this crap, and it's like, good thing we have the guy, just very lucky that, it's just like, if it happened in real life, you wouldn't have the guy, you know what I mean? At least it's quick, you know what I mean? And it's just like, how fucking convenient, the whole thing's dumb. They don't think about what these things are actually like. Like every time this actually happens, it's like if somebody actually goes to somebody's house to murder them in the middle of the night with a hammer, they never fail. You know what I mean? As sad as that is and fucked up to say, it's like every time somebody goes to somebody's house in the middle of the night to fucking kidnap them, they don't fail and get themselves caught up and then wind up in the media, and then it just so happens to work out for all these political things, and it just so happens that, oh, well, now we have a point to prove for this thing just in time. And, you know what I mean? And it's like, how do you guys not see it? What? You know what I mean? It's just so dumb. They're like, oh, we can manipulate the news and all this media so the people will just believe this dumb shit we say. It's like, no, people will still question it if it doesn't make any fucking sense. And that's what's so funny. It's like, I thought I was just being a paranoid idiot when I was like, that's bullshit. Now all the news reports are about, oh, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. And I'm like, oh, hey, isn't that funny? Oh, yeah, okay, so I'm glad it's not just me. I'm glad that the world's kind of calling them out, too, saying it doesn't make sense. But they're also just stupid, and they're wrapped up in their own fucking agendas about it, and they're also stupid in their own way. So that's why I'm trying to come from a different angle. But it's just like, I don't know. I'm coming from the angle of like, I know criminals, okay? Even if they're stupid, that just means that they will kill him, Because they're dumb. They're not dumb in the way that they're just going to walk into their house and be like, where is he? All right, so I got here and I got my plan and I got my zip ties and I got my hammer. Now, where are the people? I'm in his house, so where is he? Oh, hi, guy. Oh, hello, attacked. Oh, I'm going to attack you now. Oh, stop it. Oh, no. 911? Yeah, I broke into this guy's house and we're fighting. Can you, I'll open the door for you. Can you stop me from doing this? What is happening? Now hit me with the hammer. It's like, I'm so over talking about it, but you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's like, why would you want to do this? Either you're paid or you're angry. Either way, you're going to do it well, right? If you're going to kill or kidnap somebody, you're going to, nobody's going to hire you if you suck at it, And if you're angry enough to do it, you're not going to fuck up so massively and or do it with no passion to the point where you get annihilated by an 82-year-old. Think about these things next time you fester one of these stories. It's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Maybe hire a criminal to, instead of just frame all this on, hire a criminal for some fucking advice on what they would do or some shit. Like, or I don't fucking know. Probably not, but...
In a statement, Speaker Pelosi described the incident as heartbreaking and traumatizing.
David DePape.
David DePape.
David Wayne DePape.
David DePape.
DePape.
David DePape.
He said the glass was broken the wrong way. It was a breakout rather than break in. That is not true. The glass was broken exactly the way glass breaks if you're breaking into someone's house with a hammer.
Yeah.
Not that I know from personal experience. It's just like, hit the glass and it breaks that way.
Yeah.
So it was a break-in.
So if you break into the house, why is all the glass on the outside? That's the first question that people have. Why is all the glass on the? If I'm hitting a window, I've broken windows. By the way, I've broken windows of my neighbors. So you break their window, it all goes inside. It doesn't come outside. So that's right away suspicious. But
Not that I know from personal experience.
I've broken windows, by the way.
Not that I know from personal experience.
I've broken windows.
And then there's this guy. This guy in this news thing breaks it down like he was there. And so, okay, it's like, who opened the door? It's like, well, apparently this guy did. There was a third person, and it was this guy. Because this guy explains it as if he was there. And so luckily we have somebody that could break it down. But yeah, this guy was there, though. This guy breaks it down as if he was there. He knows exactly from the second the guy entered everything that happened. So good thing we have this guy to break it down. Good thing he knows all this somehow. And it's funny because this guy's report leaves like a whole empty section in the middle where it's like, okay, if the guy's a criminal and he's going there to do wrong to the Pelosis, then this whole missing middle section of this guy's story is like, makes no sense. There should have been a fight there. There should have been an escape there. There should have been, it'll make sense when the fucking thing happens. But he's just like, he's acting like they just stood there for a second or whatever. And as he talked on the phone with the cops, but he didn't want to say anything to the cops. And it's like, okay. So they make it sound like, hey, well, maybe he's locked in a room talking to the cops. Okay, so in that case, say, yeah, this guy's trying to kill me, get here quick. Or no, he was standing right in front of me. So it's like, oh, there's a man in my house, but he's not a threat, but can you just come? But don't be mean to him or something. And so that way the guy can just stand there and he knows that he's talking to the cops, but he'll just let him. It's fine. And it's like, so this whole missing section in the middle, it's like the whole middle missing section of the story is just like, it's like, what the fuck? If you're going to explain it as if you were there, then, like, it's just, you'll see.
It's chilling. It's something out of a Stephen King novel. He's asleep in bed, and a voice wakes him up and says, "Are you Paul Pelosi?" It's 2:00 in the morning. He says, "Yeah." He says, "Where is Nancy?" He said, "She's not here. She's in Washington." The voice says, "When is she going to be back?" Now, Anderson, stop tape here for a minute. In context, that sounds crazy to us when we are talking to somebody while we're sleeping. But remember, this is a family that's lived around security details in their house, in their kitchen, outside.
They have a tremendous, I've seen her security detail. It's quite large.
People coming and going. He's groggy out of a dead sleep. And when he says, well, I'm going to tie you up and we're going to wait for her, it is clear to him something is very wrong. He gets out of bed and he heads for the elevator. He knows he can get in the elevator. There's a phone in there. He can stop the elevator. And Mr. DePape blocks his path. He's talking to him. Can I call someone for you? What do you need her for? Is there something I can help you with? She's second in line for the president. We have to take them all out.
That's what he says to her.
Yeah. And then he says, well, is there someone I can call for you? He says, no, this is the end of the line for you. At this point, he diverts to the bathroom. He knows his cell phone's on charge there. He turns it on, puts it on speaker, calls 911, and then engages in a conversation where he's trying to get the message across to the operator, but not trying to get...
Because the guy can hear him on the 911.
The guy's on the other side of the door. He's got a handful of zip ties and a hammer. And he says, there's a man here, and he's asking for my wife, Nancy Pelosi, and I don't know him, he says when she asks. And she says, do you need police, fire, or ambulance? And the suspect is glaring at him. He said, no. How about, is the Capitol Police here? And she said, you know you're calling the San Francisco police. He says, yeah. She said, do you know this man? He said, no, I don't. And then the suspect responds, no, I'm a friend of theirs. So she's gleaning something's definitely not right here and makes that priority A call when the police are coming. Now, remember, the suspect's thinking here is, I know I went by 1 million cameras to break in here. I know Paul Pelosi has seen me. I now think that the police are on the way, and he's heading downstairs. I know I'm going to get caught. I know this is the end of the line for me now. Mm-hmm. When the police get there and Paul Pelosi opens the door and heads back to the suspect, trying to keep things calm, the police put their flashlight through the door, and they see the two men standing there with the hammer, and the officer says, what's going on here? And Paul Pelosi lets go of the hammer, and then he's struck. If you look at the suspect's later statements to police, what he allegedly said is, I knew this was a suicide mission at that point, and that I wasn't going to get away. And if I had to go through him, I was going to go through him. He had escalated this by calling the police and putting his hands on the hammer, and I had to hit him.
Anyways, world's a trip. Try to stick it out. You know, try to stay good people and be humble and do the right thing. And yeah, sorry, I burped, and then now my fucking wrist itches. And cool, awesome. So, anyways, yeah, life's a trip. Till next time. I'm trying to post more and more videos. I have a few things that are big projects that I've been working on slowly, and they'll eventually get released. But yeah, I'm not going away just yet. You wish. Anyways, don't get too swayed by their dumb ideas, or I don't know. Don't get pulled too much into their stupidity. Fight the cause or whatever, you know. And yeah. Anyways, I need a haircut, I need a shower, I need some food, and till next time, deuces. Deuces.